I want to tell you my theory, man. I've been having this thing for a while now. One of my favorite topics, it's Switzerland.
Yes.
I've met my fair share of Swiss people in my life.
Okay.
They love Barcelona. They love to come there because Barcelona, it's Disney World for grown-ups. It's cheap, and to my knowledge, every single person coming out of Switzerland just appears to be rich. I know that's not the case, but I've never met a Swiss person that hasn't paid for my dinner. You know, they're just like, they're rolling in it. It's such an interesting case for me. Like, how does a country like Switzerland, right, obtain this power where they're able to just be like, you know what, European Union, nah, we're good. You know what, bank transparency, nah, we're good. And I just feel like they are the biggest criminals on planet Earth can be found in Swiss. There's also a saying amongst, this is something that a lot of Swiss people have told me upon hanging out in Barcelona. There's this joke, they say like, you know which country in the world has got the best Coke? And you go, Colombia, Venezuela, I don't know, like Switzerland. Switzerland got the best Coke. Like, I just feel like they got there first.
Yes.
They're not all criminals, but you just have this like white collar crime. They managed to get ahead of everyone else, even, starting with the World Wars and things like that. Mm. And they figured out that perception is so important. So they all wear suits. They're living in this country with all these mountains and nature. So it already kind of resembles like decency. People that live in cold areas with mountains always appear to be more, pure and decent and educated and better overall, right? That's kind of like, I'm going off of an emotional feel here, but I feel like that's kind of like a thing. And they just figured out like, you know what? All we have to do is put on our suits every day, wear our Rolexes, make sure that our hair is nice and slick, and just continue to commit our crimes on the highest level. So we're gonna take in all the money from all the criminals, all the fucking drug lords from fucking anywhere. They're gonna come fly in with their private jets. No EU restrictions, no nada. They're gonna come stack all the gold. Not to mention how much fucking Nazi gold and pieces of art, lost art, do you think is in Switzerland right motherfucking now? And no one talks about it ever. No one talks about Switzerland ever.
We talk about leaked documents, Panama Papers. That's what we talk about. Yeah. We talk about some Luxembourg leaked thing, but indeed Switzerland.
They never get brought up, and they are just like at the top of the motherfucking food chain. It doesn't I don't have to be a genius to figure this shit out. Yeah. Like, they literally constructed a system that allows them to take in any amount of money and assets and art
without any questions.
And the EU is cool with it. They're just like,
can't touch them.
Like,
you can't.
Not much we can do, right? So I'm just like, that to me. They really figured it out because and you go to Switzerland, not a goddamn thing is gonna happen to you. You're not gonna get pickpocketed. You're not gonna. So all these other countries, they get stigmatized, and they get pointed a finger like, those people. And Swiss people somehow have this reputation of being like the most decent, and it's like. I gotta be careful with, I don't want to say every Swiss person I met, but most of the Swiss people I met are some crazy motherfuckers, and there's levels to this shit, and they know there's levels to this shit, and they're playing a different game. They're playing a different game. They're playing at a different level.
I know expats who moved to Switzerland. They didn't even last, I think, they were with their family,
right?
2 years or 1 or 2 years. They came back. He had a very lucrative business there. He just came back. Like, why did you come back? Nobody would socialize with them. Nobody would talk to them. They would come from school. Nobody would invite their friends, because they were in Switzerland, and it's so like the country on its own, like you're saying, it's so, antisocial. It's like for us in the community, in the culture, there is also like that. They won't invite newbies or stuff like that because it's all for them. It's all in their own community. Also, they're very community bounded as well, or the cantons. The different cantons. Yeah. So he just came back and he was like, we couldn't be social there. We couldn't talk to people. It was like, it's very weird actually, because I would think Swiss people are fun to hang out with.
They are the nicest people.
Yeah.
I never met a Swiss person I don't like. They are just the nicest people. Like I said, man, they'll invite you to any and everything. And I just always got this feeling, when they come to countries like Spain and stuff, they're just like
the kings. They're like kings.
They're just like, man, like you guys have no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand.
And I really feel like, and no one ever talks about it. No one ever talks. Even when you watch the movie The Wolf of Wall Street,
yes.
Like they go to Switzerland.
Yes.
Like it's a real thing. It's not, but even then, it's not. And that's the thing. That says so much about the human race and just our society. All you have to do is make it there first.
Yes.
It's basically like, if you can successfully go and take over someone's land, rape, pillage, and destroy everything, and just wipe out their entire history and start over, and you did it like thoroughly enough, and you did it first, hey! And now, guys, now that we have this status quo of first we're gonna come destroy everything, but now, hey, come on, let's keep peace, huh?
Yeah.
Let's keep it peaceful, guys. It's easy to sit on your high horse and to be all about peace and prosperity and common sense for the greater good when you have already taken what you want to be, what you need,
Yes.
And that's always like my thing about refugees. People, they love hating on refugees, right? Talking shit about refugees. Motherfucker, how would you feel if you didn't have shit?
If it happens here, they start bombing this place. What happens then?
Dude, it's so easy when you got your fucking 3 houses, your 5 cars, and, oh man, nah, these refugees, because you got everything, because your ancestors already took. They're basically scared of the refugees doing to them what their grandfathers did to someone else generations ago. They came and took that shit. Then they were like, all right, now we got to stop making our hands dirty. We're no longer going to use a gun. We're going to start using fucking loans and investments and banks. They traded the knife and the gun for banks and ties and suits. And that's the thing. They just made it there first.
No, absolutely. Because that's about white-collar crime is that's very, very difficult to punish. Very difficult to prove. You can't.
Because the system is entangled. The people, so you're going to take them to court. They are the court, motherfucker. How are you going to sue court? Like, they are the judges. They are the federal prosecutor. They are these people. Like, they're all in the same lobby. They're all like, so it's like, yo, I want to expose this corrupt system. Like, yeah, good luck.
I don't know if you remember several years back where a bunch of people in Wall Street, they started protesting against Wall Street.
Right.
Like what you're saying right now. Banks are taking money.
Occupy
Wall Street. You remember that, right?
I do.
So they had thousands of people sitting there and say, Wall Street, you're funding criminal activities, you're doing anything to make money, and we are, the majority of the US people are suffering, are in poverty. And I remember watching that and I said, like, okay, let's hope this will this will still be a narrative in the future, but you don't see it anymore. Of course, that's what I think your point is trying to make is like nobody. We try to talk about something, we try to start it up, but the fire is not there.
Do you need help making better decisions in your life? Are you lacking self-confidence and motivation to get things done? Hire me today and get a direct daily line of communication with me through video chat and audio messages. I operate on a week-to-week basis, so no long-term investment is required. 7 straight days of Viking advice will get you right on track. Email me at lorenz.dries@gmail.com and change your reality. I'm ready whenever you are. See you soon.